As we flew on the plane to Seattle, Washington, my mind focused on what I had learned. I remembered what Emma had taught me. I remembered what I could do. I remembered what I had learned about the natural magic. Oh, how my life had changed so much. It was only a few years ago when I had my first encounter with the magic. It shook my sense of reality. It shook my sense of self. I did not plan my life to become like this. I thought my life would be much more normal. What happened? Magic happened. Magic happened. I looked at Autumn. I felt so bad for her. Last week, she had no sense for magic or anything like it. A few years ago, I was the same. It took me a long time to come to terms with it. She has handled it so much better. She also has handled the fact that Aura had been kidnapped much better than one would think, especially figuring how there was nothing she could do. She had no magic. Maybe I could try to get her the magic later, but there was nothing we could do right now. Right now, we needed to get Aura back as soon as possible. As we were on the plane, I told the glacial head leader about Shar-Kali-Gi's visit. I figured it would help him. He seemed to take interest in the threat of public exposure. He thanked me for letting him know and said that it was very helpful. I told him that I wished I had told him earlier. As we got off the plane and headed over to Mount St. Helens, I thought more about Shar-Kali-Gi. I was ready for you, Shar-Kali-Gi. I'm ready to fight. No more will you terrorize our family. No more will you threaten natural magic. I have struggled. I have trained. You are the enemy to goodness. You are pure evil, pure darkness. I see you, Shar-Kali-Gi, the enemy to my everything. This was my attitude as we headed towards the volcano. I was focused. I had one goal in mind, to get Aura back. I was ready to sacrifice everything. I will do whatever it takes to get my little girl back. I felt ready. I felt confident. I'm ready to do this. We had to leave Autumn behind. There was nothing that she could do, and we didn't want to risk her involvement. I kissed her and told her to be safe. She made me promise to be safe. I did. I then went with Emma, the coalition, and the glacial head leader. The coalition was a group of about 30 men and women who were highly trained in conflict. I was told to be careful and let the coalition be the main force in the conflict. As we walked up the volcano, I saw upside-down birds reminding me of that first event when Emma and I got the magic. I looked at Emma and smiled. I thought about the fear I felt. I thought about the nervousness I now felt. I shook it off and tried to focus on my objective. As we climbed the volcano, we noticed that there was no one else there. We stopped and the glacial head leader spoke with all of us. Be on alert, everyone. Make sure no one of the public sees you. As we continued our way, I asked Emma about the rule about public exposure. I asked her about non-magical people like my wife seeing the magic, and yet that didn't seem to break the rule. It's about exposing magic to people at large, David. Family members who you trust are different. That's about private, not public. You have to be careful about bringing the magic into the public. This is because natural magic is supposed to help people's private lives. In the moments of their life when they are struggling, when they are alone, when they need someone. That's where natural magic can help people. But it must be individual. Showing it to more people destroys the personal ability of the natural magic, she explained. Finally, giving enough time, we made it to the top. We went past warning signs to continue to the opening of the volcano. It was silent. Nothing made a noise. Suddenly, we heard some footsteps behind us. We looked back to see a group of police officers. They told us that there was a report of an attack here. The glacial head leader then spoke with them. The officers then dispersed a bit, staying their distance, but still within sight. Suddenly, we looked above us. A gush of wind flew above us. The wind flew towards the volcano. I looked closely at it. There were faint faces in the wind staring at us. It were the souls of the wind. They stared at us, taunting us. One of the faces seemed to stare at me personally. I recognized it. It was Shar-Kali-Gi. In his arms, of wind was Aura. My little girl. Anger began to rise within me. Emma gasped, "I know what they're doing." The glacial head leader looked at her, realization on his face. "We are unprepared," he whispered. I looked at Shar-Kali-Gi, fear coming from these statements. The police officers heard Emma and began to gather to see what we were looking at. I looked at Shar-Kali-Gi as he moved Aura closer to the volcano. He smiled. This was the sacrifice he was talking about. We are not here for a conflict. We were here to witness a human sacrifice. I felt a surge of confidence and anger rise within me. We were running out of time. I bolted forward, sprinting toward Shar-Kali-Gi. "David, stop!" shouted Benjamin. I heard him chase behind me. I continued running. Shar-Kali-Gi smiled even larger as I saw him slowly let go of Aura above the volcano. "No! Aura!" I shouted. I jumped after her into the volcano. As I fell, I focused on my abilities, hoping that I could withstand the lava below. As I dived after her, I finally caught her. I grabbed her and held her close, waiting any moment for the impact with the lava. I slammed into the lava. I turned on the powers and held Aura above the lava. She began to cry because of the heat. I focused the magic even harder than I ever did before. I tried to direct the lava to erupt. The volcano rumbled, and soon enough it erupted. I focused on directing myself upwards, out of the volcano. I flew up and saw Benjamin looking at me. "Take her," I said, giving Aura to Benjamin. I looked around and saw who was looking at me. Aura looked at me with horror. The police officers, with their bodyguards, looked at me with horror. Some of them were even recording with their cameras. I was being recorded. I felt the magic fade away from me. I'd exposed my magic to the public. I felt myself fall back into the lava. I closed my eyes, accepting my fate. Just as Shar-Kali-Gi had said, I will die. I saved Aura, but I will die. I thought about Autumn and apologized that I did not survive. I am so sorry. I felt my body fade away into the lava. Despite this, I did not lose consciousness. I was fully aware of my surroundings. I looked around me. I no longer had any body. I was part of the lava. I looked up and saw Shar-Kali-Gi smiling. Anger flowed through me, and I felt myself jump up towards him. The lava, now my body, shot up. I reached towards Shar-Kali-Gi. Enraged. "Your sacrifice has failed," I shouted. His smile faded. I grabbed him, my hands made of lava. He screamed, smoke rising from him. The scream was high-pitched, and it was like a screech. He and the other souls of the wind flew away, escaping me. I wanted to go after them, but I felt a limit to my abilities. There was no fire for me to follow them with. Instead, I just sat there, eyes red, my body gone. I was a soul of fire. I had died and had been consumed by the magic. I descended and saw Benjamin. "Can you bring me to Autumn, Benjamin?" I said, my voice now sounding raspy. "Yes, of course. Give me one moment," he said. He then went away, Aura in his arms. In a few moments, I felt this heat from far away calling out to me. I closed my eyes and moved towards it. I opened my eyes to see myself transported to somewhere else. I was next to a car. It was the car we had driven here with. I looked down. I was afire now. There had been constructed a fire, and I had been transported here. I wondered why I felt like I should go here. I was confused for a moment, but then I saw Benjamin walk towards me. "Stay right here. Your wife is on her way." I nodded in understanding. I then saw Autumn holding Aura in her arms, running towards me. "David, is that you?" she asked sheepishly. I felt shame. "Yes, Autumn, I have died. I acted foolishly. My soul is now part of fire." Autumn broke down into tears. I wanted to cry, but no tears came. I wanted to hug her, but I couldn't. I was stuck. "Autumn, I'm so sorry. How will I raise Aura without a father? How can I do this by myself? I don't know. The magic sustains me so I can still interact with you and Aura. But that's not the same. You are right. It is not the same. I'm so sorry. Is there any way to change this? I don't think so, but I don't know, I said. I turned to Benjamin, who was nearby. Benjamin, find my sister Emma. Make sure my wife is safe with her. Thank you so much for your help. My pleasure, David. As Benjamin left to get Emma, I tried to reassure Autumn. Autumn, I will tell you this. I fought Shar-Kali-Gi and he fled. I don't believe he is a threat to Aura any longer. We defeated him, Autumn. Aura is now safe. And while I don't know how the future is going to look right now, or how I will be able to come back, I do know that I love you. I love our daughter, and I will do anything for you and Aura. I will try everything to get back to you. I promise. To be continued.